And I want to give example of just one individual by the name of Al-Hasan bin Sālih bin Hayy. Al-Hasan bin Sālih bin Hayy. This individual was in the time of the likes of Sufyan al-Thawri in the 2nd century, and he was a person of knowledge. He was a person of ilm, a person of knowledge. He was treated to be from the A'immatil Islam, from the leaders of knowledge. In fact, his knowledge was such that it could be compared to some of the leading scholars of the time. However, he became involved in a bid'ah. He entered into something of bid'ah. What was that bid'ah? What was his crime? Does anybody know? What was the crime that this man committed which led to the Salaf behaving with him in the most severe and stern of ways? What was his crime that he committed? What was the view that he held? Does anybody know? Does anybody want to answer? Huh? What? Yes. No. But see, this is where you have to pay attention to the details now, because the brother said revolting against the rulers. Not even that. What he held, as the Salaf said about them, Yusuf bin Asbaq, كان الحسن bin Hayy يرى السيف. Al-Hasan used to hold the view of the sword. What does this mean? It means simply that he held it permissible to revolt against the rulers. Not that he himself actually did so. Right? He merely holds it permissible to revolt against the rulers. And for this view, just for holding this view, remember that as Al-Dhahabi says, كان يرى الحسن الخروج على أمراء زمانه لظلمهم وجورهم ولكن ما قاتل أبدا. That he used to hold the view of revolting against the rulers of his time because of their tyranny and oppression. But he himself never ever fought at all. What does this mean? This means that this man is a leader. He's a theoretician. He's a man who provides the ideology. He promotes the ideology. He says to the people, yes, revolting is permissible. He himself does not do so. Right? For this reason, the Salaf, they castigated him and they reviled him and they cast doubt upon his intentions. And for that reason, you see that on one occasion, Sufyan al-Thawri entered into a mosque and he saw Al-Hasan bin Sālih bin Hayy praying with khushu', with apparent piety and humility. And Sufyan, he took hold of his shoes and he left and he said, أعوذ بالله من خشوع النفاق. He said, I seek refuge in Allah from such humility which is hypocritical, which is hypocrisy. You need to really understand this statement in light of everything which I've mentioned earlier on. You need to understand, because this statement is the saying of an Imam of the Salaf. He knows what he is saying. What is he saying? This piety that this man is apparent piety, stood there with all this piety, praying in the masjid, all of it is pure hypocrisy. Why is it? It is because no man can, promote opposition to the Sunnah. If you are saying that to revolt and to rebel against the tyrannical rulers is permissible, and you know that the Deen of Islam came with its opposite, and you are opposing that and what the Sahaba were upon, and you are holding this view and promoting this view, and after that you are standing in prayer and trying to be pious, all your piety is fake. Your khushu' is fake. And that's why this is how we understand the statements of the Messenger of Allah with respect to the Khāriji. When he said about them that you will belittle your prayer, you will belittle your fasting, you will belittle your recitation of the Qur'an. The Messenger wasn't praising them. He was saying about them that their ignorance and their exaggeration, their ghulu, that they will be engaged in all of these actions, but they will not go beyond their throats. So these extremists, these terrorists, the Khāriji, when you see from them praying, fasting, recitation of the Qur'an, crying, marks on their foreheads, all of this worship that you see from them, all of this does not pass beyond their throats. It is not something which is touching their hearts. Because as Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen said, that if you were to look into the hearts of the Khārij, you will find them black. They are dark and black, because nothing of faith actually goes and penetrates into it. Right? So do you understand the statement of Sufyan al-Thawri regarding this Khāriji? What was his crime? He merely said that it is permissible to revolt. He himself did not revolt.